Good morning, students. Welcome to the design and detailing of the RC structural elements lab. So, in this doing the detailing of the combined footing. So, before detailing of the combined footing, let us know where we have to provide the combined footing or what is the necessity of providing the combined footing. So, usually the combined footing is provided when two columns are close together, causing overlap of adjacent isolated footing. Means when two isolated footings are close to each other, so if you are providing the separate isolated footing, so the one footing may overlap on the other. In order to avoid that, we go for the combined footing. The second one, when the soil bearing capacity of the soil is very less, so the dimension of the footing that you have to provide becomes more, so that overlapping of footings will take place. To avoid that, again we go for the combined footing. And when the footing area is large, isolated footing area, so it may go beyond our limit. It means whatever that border we have, it may go beyond that. So, or there may be a chances of without any other option, we have to provide the sievers, such kind of things. In such case, we cannot provide the footing. So, in such case, we go for the combined footing. Now, based on the loads coming on the column, based on the shape of the columns, and based on the position of the columns, so we are going to provide the different shapes of combined footing. That is, it may be of rectangle if all are uniform, it may be of trapezoidal if the loads coming on the columns is different, so more will be more area, more length will be provided to the column having higher load, less breadth to the column having less load. So then, or you can go for even stepped kind of footing also, it can be provided. Similarly, there are different ways of providing the combined footing. So what are those different ways of providing? So the first way of providing is, it is just a slab type, where we are going to connect the footing with the slab, so that is slab type. So this is not recommended because providing the thickness as well as providing the dimensions become larger and larger. So therefore, usually this kind of footing is not recommended. The second one is the slab and beam type. This is most recommended. Here we will be providing a slab at the bottom, as well as the two columns are connected to each other. The two columns are connected to each other. So with the help of a beam, that is the beam. So both the slab as well as beam will be present below the below the ground level, and this is your slab, this is your beam, and this is most recommended. And today in the detailing of combined footing, we will be learning the detailing of slab and beam type of combined footing. The one more is the strap type, where two columns are connected with the help of a large depth column which is provided above the ground level. So these are the different forms of combined footing. Now, based on the presence of moments, we are going to decide where we have to provide the reinforcement. So when it is a combined footing like this, so here there is a tension at the bottom, therefore you have to provide the tension reinforcement at the bottom. Here also there is a tension at the bottom, you have to provide tension reinforcement at the bottom, whereas here there is a tension at the top, therefore you have to provide tension reinforcement at the top. And based on this flexural bending itself, we are going to decide the position of reinforcements. Now, here what I am going to do is, I have taken a problem, I have solved the problem, I have designed the problem. After designing the problem, I have calculated the area of steels required, as well as I have calculated uh, the details of the reinforcements also. But here we are going to concentrate only on the detailing of those reinforcements. So therefore, I am designing a problem for a column of 500 into 500 which carries a load of 1050 kilonewton, and a column B of 600 into 600 mm which carries a load of 1600 kilonewton. The safe bearing capacity of soil is 200 kilonewton meter, and the M20 is the grade of concrete, and Fe4 and 5 is the grade of steel. and for that we have to write the longitudinal section and we have to show the cross section of the beams and slab. Now after designing the beam and slab type of combined footing, finally I came to know this is the total length of my beam and this is my depth of the beam. These are the column position and the CA and BD are the cantilever projections, and this is the arrangement of the combined footing. Since the load coming on the columns as well as dimensions of the columns are different, the cantilever projections is also different, therefore this becomes an eccentric combined footing. The next is, as I already told, when we want to design the combined footing, there are mainly two parameters that you have to consider. One is the design of bottom slab, one more is the design of longitudinal slab, longitudinal beam. This longitudinal beam is going to connect both the columns. Now we will go to the reinforcement details of longitudinal beams. So in that, first we will go to the bottom slab. Already I have designed the bottom slab, right? Once I have designed the bottom slab, so what I have done is I have taken the reinforcements, right? So I have calculated what is the length of the slab, what is the width of the slab, what is the thickness of the slab. I have calculated what is the area of the steel. After calculating the area of the steel, I have calculated what is the diameters of the bars that I have to provide. So according to that, I have to provide 20 mm diameter bar at a spacing of 130 mm center to center. That is my main reinforcement, and 8 mm diameter bar at a spacing of 160 mm center to center. That is my distribution reinforcement. Is it clear? This is my main reinforcement, my distribution reinforcement. In the next column, the next slide, I will be explaining you the detail. So once the slab is done, then we will go to the beam. So in the beam, so I am going to provide the reinforcements. So as per the portions. So first I will consider the cantilever portion BD, which is present to the right side of the combined footing. So for that, what I have to do is I have to use 3 bars of 32 mm diameter and 4 bars of 16 mm diameter at the bottom. And out of these two, all the bottom bars will be continued up to the end of cantilever. The bottom bars of 3 of 32 mm will be cut tiled at a distance D. It means 4 bar of 16 is provided throughout the length of the beam, whereas 3 bar of 32 mm is provided only to the cantilever portion BD, as well as it is cut tiled at a certain distance from the face, which is equal to the effective depth of the beam D. Similarly, when it comes to cantilever portion AC, that is which is present to the left portion, which is present in the left portion. So for that, I have to provide only 4 bar of 16 mm diameter at the bottom. I have to provide throughout the length of the beam. You see this is my bottom slab. So the total length of the slab is 7200 and the total width is 2000 mm, and this is my beam. Now these are my main reinforcement, that is 20 mm diameter bar at 130 mm center to center, and these are my longitudinal reinforcement, it is 8 mm dia at 160 mm center to center. Now this is my cantilever portion BD, this is my cantilever portion AC. Now I already told the cantilever portion there are 2 bars, 3 bars of 32 mm diameter and 4 bar of 16 mm diameter. In that, this 4 bar of 16 mm diameter, which is in red color, is provided throughout the length of the beam, right? Similarly, even in the portion AC also, there is only 4 bar of 16 which is provided throughout the length of the beam. But this 3 bar of 32 is not provided throughout the length. It is provided only in the cantilever portion BD, as well as it is provided up to a distance D, that is effective depth of the beam from the face of the column. So that is about this reinforcements. Okay. Now after that, So what they have told for the top reinforcements we will see. Now when we go for the top reinforcement, total top reinforcement is 5 bar of 32 mm diameter and 3 bar of 16 mm diameter. Out of this, 3 bar of 16 mm diameter is provided throughout the length of the beam. If you see everywhere, here also it is 3 bar of 16, here also it is 3 bar of 16, here also 3 bar of 16, here also 3 bar of 16. It is provided throughout the length of the beam. But what about this 5 bar of 32? So this 5 bar of 32, whatever which is there in the pink color, so the out of this total 5 bar of 32, so for this length which is provided in the pink color for both the up to the outer faces of both the column, out of 5, 3 bars of 32 mm diameter will be provided. So 3 bar of 32 mm diameter will be provided from the outer face of the column A to the outer face of the column B, whereas the remaining 2 bar of 32 mm will be provided here, which is shown in the black color. Therefore, if I take the middle, I have all the 5 bar of 32, I have all the 3 bar of 62. If I take here, I have all the 4 bar of 16, I have 3 bar of 32. If I take here or here, I have only 4 bar of 16. So this is all about longitudinal. This is what they have shown. I have, as I explained, that is cantilever portion AB. This is. So next we will see the. So now when it comes to shear reinforcement in the portion AB, that is middle, so we are going to provide 4-legged stirrups at 120 mm center to center, whereas in the cantilever portion BD and AC, we are going to provide 2-legged stirrups at a 300 center. Therefore, if you see here, up to this distance, it is 12 mm dia, 4-legged stirrups at 120 mm center to center, 12 mm dia, 4-legged stirrups at 120 mm center to center. The remaining portion is 12 mm dia, 2-legged stirrups at 300 mm center to center. Even in the cantilever portion BD as well as cantilever portion AC also, it is 2-legged stirrups, 12 mm dia at 300 mm center to center. Now we will take two cross section. One is exactly at the middle, another one is exactly next to the outer face of the column B. Therefore, if I take the cross section here, so at the bottom I will be having 4 bar of 16 only, whereas here I will be having 5 bar of 32 as well as 3 bar of 16. But if I take here, I have at the top exactly next to the column, I have only 3 bar of 16, but here I have 4 bar of 32 as well as 3 bar of 32 as well as 4 bar of 16. Take here at the top I have 5 bar of 32, 3 bar of 16, whereas here it is just 4 bar of 16, which is exactly at the middle, whereas here I have taken exactly next to the column. So therefore it is 3 bar of 16 at the top, whereas at the bottom it is 4 bar of 16 and 3 bar of 32. And this is my slab, this is my beam. 400 is the width of the beam, 750 is the total depth of the beam, and 200 is the thickness of slab. The one with the blue color is the main reinforcement. This is the longitudinal reinforcement of the slab. Since it is 750 mm, we have to provide the side face reinforcement, which is equal to 0.1% of the gross area of the beam. Right. So the drawings. So this is again a slab which is drawn in the AutoCAD. This is the longitudinal section which is showing all the bottom reinforcement, top reinforcement, shear reinforcement. Two cross sections. One is at the center, one is exactly to the right of the column. So this completes your detailing of the combined footing. Thank you.